I could not ask for better.
So thanks to MAGA, you earn a living today, essentially. What you're saying
Thanks to Soros, I earn a living, okay?
So MAGA can't go away, then you're...
What?
There's no career for you if MAGA goes away.
Oh my God, that would be. I really would love that.
This is a lifeline.
Put me out of. Dude, I mean, that would be amazing. If white supremacy went away, what would we do? What would we do with that?
So you're saying that everybody that's a MAGA supporter is a white supremacist?
No, I'm saying that it's not a deal breaker.
Comedian Walter Masterson went on George Santos's podcast and spoke nothing but facts.
There is no evidence that there's white supremacy at large in this country, specifically in MAGA uniquely.
Wait.
Right? No, there is no evidence of
white supremacy 100, and we've had this argument a lot.
Yeah, racism in this country, and I support that.
The notion that white people are supreme in America.
I literally have an interview with Patriot Front, like that I just did the other day. They came to see Donald Trump and J.D. Vance speak.
If you somehow have no idea who Patriot Front is...
One by one, police unmasked the men. One of the men, police say, is their leader, Thomas Russo. He, along with his group Patriot Front, came from out of town and brought with them a nasty racist past. This group didn't just come out of nowhere. They're not new. Researchers that track hate say Patriot Front is an offshoot of a group called Vanguard America, whose alleged leader, Thomas Russo, attended the White Supremacists Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville.
Jews will not replace us! 31 people have been arrested this weekend in Idaho, facing charges for conspiracy to riot. Police detained the members of white supremacist group Patriot Front near a Pride event. Now, authorities found them inside the back of a U-Haul with riot gear after a concerned citizen reported the group to law enforcement.
This is who Masterson is discussing. More from the interview.
If you want to insult the Democratic Party, I really want you to know that I'm into that.
Good.
Like, I'm like, if
Did you see what Hakeem Jeffries did today?
I really want us to hate them for the same reasons, not because of this, like, gender neutral bathroom nonsense that you're pushing.
No, you say nonsense. I say it's a problem. I think
you have 2 gender neutral bathrooms in your studio. You only have gender neutral bathrooms
here. We're
here.
all working adults here.
I came in, I went to use the bathroom, and I was like, wait, both bathrooms are gender neutral. And they're not even marked. There's no men, woman. It's just like they're both non-binary. Okay, George Santos has 2 non-binary gender-neutral bathrooms unmarked in his studio.
This is true, as Masterson pointed out in the beginning of his upload, showing once again the sheer hypocrisy of MAGA Republicans.
But have you ever come across anybody that's just left you like, literally?
Where I have no words?
Yes.
Where they just, shock me into oblivion?
Yes.
Most conversations kind of shock me.
Okay.
I'm shocked when I meet someone that's LGBTQ who owes all the rights they have from progressives fighting for them for decades.
It's not true.
And then they walk away and they go, I'm going to join the movement that wants to roll these rights back. I am shocked and amazed every time.
What's your theory behind why groups of people do that? Why?
Well, historically, people are always attracted to the power centers. So there's always people like George Santos, right? There's always people like him.
This is where Santos gets really ticked. Let's move past the fact the former congressman, real name George Anthony DeValder Santos, was charged with a bevy of crimes by the Department of Justice, which featured 1 count of conspiracy to commit offenses against the United States, 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of making materially false statements to the Federal Election Commission, or FEC, 2 counts of falsifying records submitted to obstruct the FEC, 2 counts of aggravated identity theft, and 1 count of access device fraud. In addition to the 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the United States House of Representatives that were charged in the original indictment. Santos is due back in federal court, or at least was, in October of 2023, because, of course, let's move past the fact that Santos, while claiming innocence, pled guilty to fraud and deceived many by stating he was not a Brazilian drag performer. He was. That he served as a producer on Spider-Man the Musical. He wasn't. His claim of being a volleyball star, seasoned Wall Street financier and investor, being a Jew, said he was a victim of a mass shooting. None of those are true. And then the puppy bad checks fiasco. This man lies through his teeth for a living. Masterson would bring up Santos, being a gay man, is serving as a puppet for the Republican Party because they will always platform and elevate voices who are in the community that will gladly give them up for their own personal gain. After all, Santos stated, and I quote, "I was an opposer of gay marriage. In addition, via Business Insider, as a candidate, Santos endorsed the Florida Parental Rights and Education Law, known to critics as Don't Say Gay, and said Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had his full-blown support for signing the law. He would also play up the 'there are only two genders' charade while claiming he is not transphobic and his friend is trans."
I don't believe in banning abortion. I don't believe in banning gay rights. I don't believe in banning interracial marriages. I don't believe in overturning none of our statutes that we have of protections for people to have equitable and equal lives in this country. What I disagree with is doing anything that I believe could be harmful to the development of children. I'll give you an example. Have you ever encountered a book called Genderqueer? I'm just asking.
The book called Genderqueer? Yeah. I think that book probably sold like 200 copies nationwide. And after Marjorie Taylor Greene got
Marjorie. It wasn't Marjorie.
Once the Republican Congress people got their hands on it.
It was a school board in
Texas. They sent it to every single person. They showed pictures of it on the floor of Congress.
Why did they do that?
I was the one who did the picture of it.
I don't think anyone was ever going to read that book ever until the Republican Congress people got up and were like waving it around.
It got the attention of a parent in a school board, I believe in Texas, to which took it to the open mic night at a school board in Texas and said, look, I saw this book. I didn't think much of it. And then I just started going through it. And then there's a like literally.
Do you want to age restrict books in school?
I don't think.
You want to age restrict?
Don't we restrict porn? Don't we restrict porn and pornographic material?
There was a book I saw in the children's library where like these two daughters like take turns having sex with their dad and everything. It was like crazy.
That's gross. I don't even know that.
That's the Bible.
Whatever.
That's the Bible, George.
I'm not getting
it's the Bible.
This reaction says it all. A checkmate moment where Santos states, whatever. I'll be honest with you. I think the most frustrating part about all this is that someone like George Santos is actually pretty typical of what Republicans are. They will use folks in a certain community to prop them up and use them as a shield to then say, see, we care about them. Walter didn't, he sort of wanted to frame his rhetoric in a certain way, which I understand, but I have no problem calling George Santos a grifter. Overall, going into the Lion's Den is hard. It is incredibly difficult. And I think Walter did not sink but swam. He defended his positions quite well. And I thought he did a really good job considering that you have a professional gaslighter in George Santos. So we will leave the full interview in the discussion podcast session in the description box below. And please, if you can, support Walter's work. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.